All right, welcome, good morning, salutations to all of you, even the people that are going to be upset by this video for some reason. This is Israelite in America, and I've got a quick story for you guys today. This one isn't that widely known, but I mean, in most of my stories, excuse me, up to this point are kind of lesser known stories, but this is an interesting one. Us Israelites here in America talk a lot about injustices and reparations, the harm that was done to our people. And we get shouted down a lot by the dominant society as if these things that happened, somehow we should just get over them, even though they've severely disadvantaged us to the present day. And in any other group of people, things that happened to them in the past that put them at disadvantages in the present, America has a little problem with fixing, or at least attempting to fix, because they don't really fix things, but at least attempting to fix, going about doing something for other people. But when it comes to us Israelites, so-called Negroes, it's just a totally different attitude. But these things have to be addressed, and this is what our story is about today. I'm going to try and keep it quick. Check this out. Black family claims their land and was stolen by Madison County officials decades ago. Okay? Now, before we get into this, hit the subscribe button. Come on, help me out here. Subscribe, like, and share this video, especially this one, because there's a petition going, which I'll bring up in just a moment. Okay, this comes from News 19, WHNT.com, if you want to look it up yourself. In fact, I can drop a link in my description. I'll probably drop a link to this and the petition. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama. Imagine your ancestors purchasing land more than 150 years ago to ensure your family could possibly secure generational wealth for decades to come. Now imagine that nearly 100 years later, that land was taken from you. Okay, this is what they're always saying. Why, you guys need to work, lift yourselves up by the bootstrap. What about farmers, and what about hardworking Americans that worked and such? Okay, and people that, well, we'll get to it. The Jones family says the 10 acres, okay? Imagine, land is going at a premium right now. 10 acres is nothing to scoff at. 10 acres of property on Holmes Avenue has been in the family since 1870. All right, so this is after the Civil War, like they always want to cry about. The family was one of the few black families to own property in Madison County after the end of slavery. However, nearly 100 years later, they claim the land was stolen from them through lies and deceit. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean lies and deceit? And this is where certain people watching this will say, well, see, claims. That's not proven. You can't prove any of that. That will be their initial response, and then they're going to stick to that and hold to that. This was historical property and was a means to our family having wealth in our generation. But because of this theft, we don't have it, said Michael Jones, the youngest of the 5 living children of Willie and Lola Jones. Okay, so their kids, this is their direct descendant here. It's still alive talking about this. Okay, the land had a well that was the Jones family's source of drinking water. The family freely shared the water source with others that lived along the Athens Pike. So they had an independent water source. Okay, this is a big deal. 10 acres and an independent water source, which they shared, by the way, which they helped to distribute the wealth. That thing that was giving them wealth and life, they shared it with others in the community. According to records obtained by the family attorney, city officials in Madison County condemned the land in 1954 after Willie Jones turned down an offer of only $900 for a small portion of that land that included the well, and the family was forced to move. So you see the wicked evil of this, of the establishment of these people. They wanted the land. They offered him $900, which was highly undervaluing the land, mind you. Even back then, it was undervalued for the land, especially with it having a well on it. I believe the 900 would have equated to only something around 9,000 today, by today's money, something around that. Don't quote me, but it was not a lot, and it was not what the land was worth. The barter opened the door for city officials to begin the condemnation. Despite claiming the water was unfit for human consumption, the city built a pump house at the location. According to records, the University of Alabama in Huntsville now sits on the land that the family's attorneys say was allegedly stolen. Also, this news, I hope you catch how this news story is framing this. Allegedly, maybe, apparently sits on there. They say it was stolen. So the city wanted the land. They said, here, we'll give you this paltry amount. Here, boy, we want the land. Here, we give you this little, here's a few bucks. And Willie was like, nah, I think that's under offered this land. I got this land, 10 acres of this land, and I have water. No, I want my water. Well, you only gonna sell to us? All right, fine. You know what? I'm gonna go to old Bubba in the county in the clerk's office, and we need to condemn that inwards land over there. He won't sell it, so let's condemn it. Oh, well, all right, I'll run you a solid. And they condemned the land. They wanted the wickedness. The wickedness. So they condemn it because, the water ain't fit to drink. That's right. The water is unfit for human consumption. And then they go and put a pump house on it. So lied. And this is all documented. The family has the documents, and their attorneys got the documents, and the receipts are coming out. And still, even this story is like, well, allegedly, well, maybe, Having no access to their mail, the condemnation for the other properties started in areas where the actual home was located, explained Kamala Miller Lester, a researcher with Where Is My Land, an organization dedicated to helping black families recover historical land, which some people would say is a bad thing. Keep that in mind. There are people out there that would say this is a bad thing. As part of the investigation by Lester, UAH, which is University of Alabama in Huntsville, handed the Jones family attorneys some documents to show that Willie and Lola Jones signed the deed to W.L. Sanderson, the chief of the Huntsville Land Acquisition Office, in 1958. The Jones siblings say because of their dad's lack of education, he couldn't sign his name and those documents were forged. So the children of mind you, again, this is his direct kids. This is not his grandkids, his great-grandkids, like people always like to say, it happened so long ago. It doesn't affect you today. These are his direct children. They're saying, hey, he couldn't write his name. He was uneducated. He didn't know how to write his name, which of course was quite normal for people that were recently freed from enslavement. They couldn't read, couldn't write, but they could work, and they could be taken advantage of. Their father, unfortunately, was not literate, Lester continued. Before this transaction, he had signed his name with an X, and we also have evidence of that. So they have evidence that he couldn't, the kids are saying he couldn't write, and they have evidence that he used to sign his name with an X previously because he couldn't write. According to the Jones family, the duck pond that sits in front of the campus of UAH on Sparkman Drive is less than 1,000 feet from where the well was on their property. Billy Jones, the eldest sibling, told News 19 the source of water from that well is now the water source for homes and businesses in the area and has contributed to major infrastructure in the city of Huntsville. The water comes up from the well and runs under the bridge from the other side of Holmes Avenue and feeding the duck pond and all the building area, said Jones. The Jones siblings began researching the loss of their father's property to recover what is owed to the family in 1995. So why would they just feel the need to do this if they felt everything was on the up and up? The kids knew that everything wasn't on the up and up. They knew that the land was taken, that was taken from their father, and this whole thing was done unjustly. And why would they just suddenly just get up? Hey, you know what? Let's go look into that land that Daddy sold legally before and see if we can get something from it. This doesn't make any sense. Now, people will there are people that will still say that this doesn't matter, that these are isolated incidents, that will still argue against making things right, the repair of making things right. Even this, right? Even something like they're not asking for hey, give us $1 million. They're like, give us the land back. We want our land back. Okay, give back the land that the county took, and there would still be people that would argue against this, even with evidence presented. I can think of a few specific names right now. Let me go to the petition so you guys can see. Okay, this is on change.org. I know you guys should all be familiar with change.org. Excuse me. Help the Jones family of Huntsville, Alabama, get their land back. I will be signing this petition myself once I finish with this video. But there's the details. It just gives you a bit more. Justice for Willie Jones. I will be posting this video with that hashtag. And it just gives you more information, and how he was offered $900 with a portion of land, yada yada yada. Then they condemned the well, just everything that we talked about. Now there's a little bit more here that I think would be interesting to read, because he became let's start here. Shortly after arriving at the house on Capshaw Road, so this is after the family was moved, the county condemned the land and they had to move forcibly. Mr. Jones' wife, Lola Mae Jones, died suddenly and unexpectedly. Excuse me. Willie Jones became a widower, now a single father with 7 small children to care for, the youngest of whom was only 9 months old at the time. After his wife died, there again, where are the fathers? Where are the fathers in the home? I keep hearing that. Where are the fathers? When the fathers are in the home, they pull the fathers out of the home. They do this. After his wife died, W.L. Sanderson moved Willie Jones' family to a house even farther from the main road. So, and we remember this guy was the guy that supposedly the document that had been signed over to the deed. The family's mail was not forwarded to the Capshaw Road address. This became an issue when, in 1962, the county and city governments began proceedings to condemn properties, including the Athens Pike Tract. The family maintains that Willie Jones never received any communications regarding the dispossession, of the land, and that, disposition. And that this prevented Willie Jones from receiving any compensation from the condemnation. I like that. Compensation from the condemnation. That'd be a good video title. Additionally, the Willie Jones family maintains that despite public records to the contrary, Willie Jones never sold his property on Athens Pike to W.L. Sanderson. In other words, that gets into the whole forging aspect. And there's something I wanted to touch on as well. The children of Willie Jones are now working with Where Is My Land, an organization dedicated to helping Black people discover, search for, identify, and reclaim land stolen from them. In the wake of the recent successful return of Bruce's Beach, which we will touch on here in just a sec, to the Bruce Heirs, which was spearheaded by Where Is My Land's founder, Kayvon Ward, the Jones family is hopeful. Okay, so again, there are people that would say this right here, that the helping Black people discover, search for, identify, and reclaim land taken from them. There are people that would say Black people, Black faces. They're not kinfolk. Not all skinfolk are kinfolk. There would be Black faces that would see this and argue against it and talk about how it wasn't a good thing, and how, oh well, are we going to give houses to the Spaniards from the moon? Just ridiculous things like that. Are we going to give land to the purple Hawaiians from Mars? What do these things? What do these people have to do with any of this? They're Black faces that will say outlandish, crazy things like that in response to something like this an organization like this. Okay, and then of course all the white racists that will have a problem with this while discovering notice it's nothing that black people are trying to take from someone. It's this organization is to help black people get back what was stolen from them, taken from them. And let me show you that. I'm going to show you this right here, the Bruce's Beach, and then I'm going to show you the organization really quick. Now, this is another story that I haven't heard very much about, and certainly no conservatives have touched it. Of course not, because what are they going to say? That I haven't heard Candace Owens talk about this, in her fight to uplift blacks and make blacks stop being a victim. That's her thing. But anyway, and we're not going to read the whole story, but I just want to bring this to you guys' awareness. Bruce's Beach to be returned to black family 100 years after city used the law to steal it. California governor apologizes for city seizure of first West Coast resort for black people, which almost certainly would have made heirs millionaires. Oh yeah. A beachfront property seized from a black family in Southern California nearly a century ago will be returned to the family's descendants in a move hailed as a milestone in the fight for reparations and the return of land stolen from people of color. Yep, it is a milestone, not gonna lie. In 1912, Willa and Charles Bruce bought land in Manhattan Beach, a Los Angeles seaside suburb, turning it into a thriving resort run for and by black residents, despite harassment and violence from white neighbors. Wait, but this is in California. Aren't conservatives always complaining about how California wasn't a slave state? Like, oh, California wasn't a slave state, so why are you guys even complaining about California? As if nothing went on in California? As if there wasn't continual racial violence, discrimination, harassment, and all manner of filth? Oh my goodness, man. Anyway, but in the 1920s, the Manhattan Beach City Council used eminent domain. Eminent domain really needs its own video. Really needs its own video. The eminent domain, nothing more than glorified government theft. To take the land from the Bruces, purportedly for use as a park. So they're going to use it for a park. That's what here, take some change and we're going to just take it. Yet the land lay unused for years until it was transferred to the state in 1948. So again, another lie. Oh, we're going to use it, but not really. Look at that. And it was a business. I just want to point out it was a black resort, black owned and operated. They were using it to, lift themselves up by the bootstraps, like we keep hearing. They were trying to make money, create generational wealth, and as continually happens, the dominant society, the system, took it from them. This week, the descendants of Willa and Charles Bruce, including the couple's great-great-grandson, watched California's Governor Gavin Newsom sign a law that allows ownership of the property known as Bruce's Beach to be transferred back to the family. I do not like Gavin Newsom. Let it be said, I do not like Gavin Newsom. I am not a fan of Gavin Newsom. But this was the right call. This particular incident, this situation right here, he made the right call. But I do not like Gavin Newsom. But this is the right call. With a half-dozen descendants of the couples present, Newsom apologized for how the land was taken before signing the bill during a ceremony at the property on Thursday, and it goes on. You can read the rest of this in your own time. And this is from theguardian.com. So, yeah, the Bruce's Beach decision. Again, you're not going to hear conservatives talk about it. And actually, oddly enough, I haven't heard a whole bunch of liberals talking about it either, or situations like this either. And you have to understand that they play the game. Liberals and conservatives, they're playing the game. It is, as was said years ago, the fox and the wolf. One poses as the friend, but doesn't actually try to get something tangible done, and the other just shows themselves as the open enemy. But again, that's for another video, also on its own. Let me know if you'd like to see that. And I did just want to show you guys this organization real quick. This is whereismyland.org. I'm just going to read their mission statement really quickly. This is whereismyland.org. Demanding long overdue property justice. George Floyd could have been a millionaire. So could the descendants of the families who once owned thriving businesses in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Ditto for the descendants of the Bruce family of Manhattan Beach, California. Yet their families did not reap the full rewards of hard work and entrepreneurship, which, who are we always hearing that from? They were deprived of the accumulation of generational wealth over time. Their land was stolen, illegally, violently, by white Americans. These stories are the tip of the iceberg. Yes, they are. During a time of unprecedented interest in genealogy, reparations, and social justice, Where Is My Land is determined to help Black Americans reclaim stolen land and secure restitution. And you guys can go to this, you'll visit the site on your own, read about them, see what if that's something you'd like to get behind, do your own research. But yeah, these are the things that that are tangible. I talk about them. Other people talk about them. They're the tangible things that are the reasons why we require repair of damages, reparations. Okay, it's not people want to say it's just about slavery. Oh, slavery happened so long ago. But slavery. And they purposefully ignore decades and decades of Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, and theft, murder that kept blacks, Israelites, so-called Negroes down, kept them from attaining general wealth, kept their communities impoverished. Just all manner of things. It's nice to see a story like the Bruce's Beach one, but at the same time, the stories of Willie Jones, the Willie Jones stories, and the family from Alabama is all too common. And what's even worse is that a lot of us don't even know. A lot of us were either too young when it happened to our ancestor, whether that's a great grandfather, or maybe a little bit more distant. Maybe we were too young. Maybe we weren't born. And our ancestor, because there was absolutely nothing they could do, just accepted the loss and never talked about it, or accepted the loss and talked about it, but it's like, hey, there's no legal recourse. I had to sign this, or they would have killed me. I had to leave, or they would have killed you, or any number of things. So anyway, I just wanted to bring you guys that story real quick. Like, share, comment, subscribe. This has been The Israelite in America, and I will see you people next time.